Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Combo Breaker. I'm your host, Mario Valdez, and guess what? We're gonna talk Black Panther. Black Panther came out last night. I think there was early showings Thursday night, but I got to see it today, which is Saturday the 17th. I saw it around noon. My showing was pretty packed, if not sold out. I know my sister went to go see it after a few hours after I did because I got out of the theater about 3 hours ago. She was having a hard time finding a showing with seats available. Um, so yeah, this movie was another blockbuster for Marvel. But before we talk Black Panther, let's talk about the news because there's a whole bunch of news that came out that I'd like to talk about that I thought was pretty interesting, and maybe you guys would like to talk about it and all that good stuff. Like I said, if you want to talk about this stuff with me, Facebook at combobreakergeekpodcast.com. I mean, Combo Breaker Geek Podcast. Sorry, that's Facebook. We used to have a website. We don't have the website anymore. I should probably get a website back up again sometime. Instagram at MV7.0. So again, that's MV7, spell out point and a zero. You can also do Instagram at Combo Breaker GP, or you can email me at combobreaker@gmail.com. Let's see what we got here on the news. Okay, so first off, last episode, there's just a correction I wanted to, well, not really a correction. It was something that I couldn't remember. If you guys heard last episode, I was talking about Starset, this band that I listen to that happens to have a deal with Marvel, and I was talking about them and Agents of Shield. I was trying to remember the name of the album. For some reason, I couldn't remember it, even though I've been listening to that album literally every day for the past couple of months. The name of their album is called Vessels. So, like I said, if you're interested in Marvel stuff, this band is connected to Marvel. To me, they're kind of like, I don't want to say Linkin Park, but I don't know. It's good stuff. If you like video game music too, especially like the cinematic types video games. This kind of has a sound like that. Kind of hard to explain. They kind of have these little segues between tracks, but they don't sound generic. I don't know. I just think it's a really good produced album. So if you want to check that out, check that out. Starset again, their album Vessels. Again, connected to Marvel, so check that out if you're a big Marvel zombie. Okay, news. So let's start with games. This isn't usually we talk video games. This isn't necessarily video game related. I do have some video game related news in a little bit, but first, who likes Monopoly? Anybody? Monopoly. So if you've played Monopoly or any version of Monopoly, you know that that makes people kind of hate each other, and those games, if you do follow them the way they're supposed to be played, can take forever, hours. Kind of like what's the name of that game? Is it not Risk? Is it Risk? You guys know what game I'm talking about. It's the one with the little army people, and then like you pick a continent, blah blah blah. I don't know. I want to say it's Risk. I don't know why that name's popping up in my head, but anyways, Monopoly. Monopoly's coming out with this edition because we all know they come out with different editions. Super Mario, they just recently came out with Deadpool. They have Rick and Morty one and all that good stuff. There's a cheaters edition, so this edition encourages people to cheat. Now, if the first one got people choking each other, or the original rules got people choking each other and hating each other, not wanting to play again for years, you know, at a time or whatever, or not years at a time, but years between, plays. I don't know what this one's gonna do because this one encourages you to cheat and try to get away with it. I mean, not to say people didn't already do that in the first one, but I'm not really sure how the rules play out since that's how, if maybe there's some kind of reward for getting away with cheating at the end of the game. I don't know. It's just Monopoly games are kind of crazy because, like I said, they take forever. I remember playing a full Monopoly game, uh, with playing the rules uh, legit with a banker and all that good stuff. And yeah, I mean that game took forever. It took Yeah, it took a long time. I can't even remember how long that game took. Um, so if you're interested in Monopoly, or if you just connect the Monopoly games, look into that Cheaters Edition. Speaking of family games, games that friends playing stuff. You guys remember Uno, right? Well, there's a sequel to that game coming out, and guess what it's called? It's called DOS. So, DOS, I have no idea what the I haven't played Uno in quite some time. I forgot how the rules go. It's supposed to be like get down to one card or something like that. I don't remember. But anyways, there's a sequel to the game called DOS. So if you're interested in that, look that up too. I actually want to look into it. It seems maybe it could be a good drinking game, right? Speaking of drinking, red rum, red rum. I'm a big fan. I'm jumping to movies. I'm a big fan of the Shining movie with Jack Nicholson. Uh, a sequel's coming out in 2019, supposed to be following the son. I don't remember his name. I have not seen that movie in forever, but I do have it in my collection. It looks like, I don't know if this is the legit title, could just be a working title, but it's called Doctor Sleep. I don't know if it's based off the book, if there was a sequel to the original book. I'm pretty sure there was. I don't know about it, but I was a big fan of the Stanley Kubrick Shining film. Stanley Kubrick, right? I'm pretty sure. That's why I need a co-host, because I need someone who knows this stuff to kind of say, yeah, you're right, or no, you're wrong. So if you guys are listening to this and you're yelling at your device, telling me yes, I'm right, or no, I'm wrong, especially no, I'm wrong, then email me or hit me up on Facebook and Instagram and let me know, and then I'll talk about whatever you guys leave me on the following episode. Even if you guys have news that you hear that you think is interesting, or even if you have opinions on it, let me know. So yeah, Doctor Sleep. If you're a fan of the Shining movie, just like I am, Shining. Okay, so next up, another piece of movie news. These two next pieces are connected to Michael Bay, and if you've heard any of our previous episodes, you know that I've had it up to here with Michael Bay and his Transformers, because it's all explosions and pretty girls that have decent talent, I guess. I mean, or you know what? Let's just say acting talent, because uh, Megan Fox, of course, doesn't do much anymore, but she was in Transformers strictly. I mean, come on, guys. She was the eye candy there. We all know, because of that first Transformers, that iconic scene of her under the hood of the car. Let me see. After the second one, then we had Rosie Huntington Whitley. I think that's how you say her last name. If I'm correct, she was a Victoria's Secret model. That's all they had her in there for, because we know she doesn't act. If I'm wrong, then let me know. And if they've been in any other movies since then, hit me up on that too. But the reason why I bring Michael Bay up is because he's there. There's a report out saying that DC is looking at him to make a Lobo movie. I don't know much about Lobo, but from what I do know, which isn't much, I can't see Michael Bay doing a Lobo movie. So I don't know what they're trying to do. The word is that they're trying to make it like a ramped up pool. So I don't know what's going on there. I think Michael Bay's the wrong guy if that's what they want to do. And like I said, keeping with Michael Bay, there's another piece of happens to be Transformers news. This is kind of good news to me. So I'm a big fan of Transformers. I've been a fan of the uh, collectibles, or not collectibles, the action figures, uh, the cartoon. From what I remember seeing, I haven't gone back and revisited the cartoon or the animated films. Uh, the comic books too. What else was I gonna say? Wow, I forgot what I was gonna say. Um, anyways, Transformers. So the next Michael Bay Transformers universe film coming out is going to be the Bumblebee solo film. I think it's called Bumblebee the movie. I think that's what it's called, because I remember seeing the the title card for it, and I think we talked about it when they had some of the footage come out. We didn't talk about it much because, of course, this Michael Bay universe Transformers crap I don't really care about anymore. I stopped caring about it after like the second film, I think. So after this next Bumblebee movie, that's it for the Michael Bay Transformers universe. They're gonna reboot the universe, so that's super awesome news. I can't wait to see what they do with the Transformers in the movie world once this Michael Bay crap is done. So it won't be all recycled bullshit. Um, but yeah, so I'm a big fan of Transformers, and I can't wait to see what they do after Bumblebee. Because honestly, I'm not interested in Bumblebee. I don't know how many people are interested in the Bumblebee movie. I don't know how many people saw the last one and liked it. The last one looked like crap to me, but whatever. I don't know. Next piece of news. Let's see. You know what? Let's talk about more movies. Deadpool 2 a new trailer came out between this episode and last episode. If I'm correct, it was the Meet Cable trailer. But anyways, the trailer looked pretty cool. You see more. Uh, Deadpool has a bigger crew this time. We just found out, I guess, that Terry Crews is part of the cast, and then you have this guy called Zeitgeist. Now, people were saying he was an X Force, but from what I know, that character Zeitgeist, he kind of has like I guess he has kind of powers like Black Bolt, because I know it's from his voice. Um, but if I'm correct, he was in a team called Ecstatics. Yeah, so it's they were kind of like, well, their name was kind of like X, like the X-Men, the X dash men. It was X slash dash statics, and they had this little green guy. I forgot what his name was, but he kind of no, no, he wasn't green. What color was he? I don't know what color he is, but he kind of reminded me of Slimer. And actually, in the old Toy Biz Marvel Legends figures line, he actually came with Deadpool. I don't know how many Deadpools there were from the series that came out in those Marvel Legends lines, but he was one of the add-ons to that figure. And I actually have one of his cards. If any of you know oh man, this card game came. If any of you guys are interested in card games, this card game came out. I want to say like 2004, and it was this versus system card game. And I have some of those cards, so I know some of these characters because of those cards. That's how I know this dude Zeitgeist was part of that team. But also too, what was I gonna say? Legendary, not legendary. Well, attached to that versus system card. Oh, now I know what I was gonna say. No, well, oh, I was thinking of Legendary. Okay, Legendary 2. If you guys are familiar with the Legendary game, there's a lot of add-ons that have been coming out or for that game. But I was gonna bring up Alien for some reason. But anyways, the Deadpool 2 trailer. I don't know. It looked really good. Of course, funny, stupid, fourth wall breaking. What I would when I saw the title for the trailer that said Meet Cable, it reminded me of the game. If any of you guys played the Deadpool game that came out a few years ago, I say a few years ago, but it probably came out about 6 years ago. I'm gonna guess 6 years ago. I don't feel like pulling up the info right now, but it reminds me of when Cable first gets introduced in the game, and they play this little Deadpool plays this little thing called oh, well, when he's introducing Cable, it's like, who the fuck is that? He's a man at a time or whatever. There's like this little rap about Cable. Basically, just keeps saying, who the fuck is that? And if you haven't seen it, YouTube, it's pretty funny. That's what I thought they were gonna hint at, or maybe like give a nod to the game and that part of the game, because to me that was one of the funnier parts of the game. The game had its moments, but that was to me pretty funny. I actually went back and rewatched that uh that little Cable rap because I thought it was so funny. So Deadpool 2, that trailer was pretty cool. Let's see what else we got. Movies. If anybody is familiar with Kung Fury, I think it was a YouTube short film. I'm pretty sure it was, somebody correct me. It was a short film that came out on YouTube. Oof, the same thing. I want to say maybe 5 years ago, and it was about this cop uh, who was like he was like a kung fu guy, and like his partner got killed by this like ninja or some shit, and then his new partner was like a guy with a triceratops head, I think, if I remember. I haven't seen the movie in so long. Well, they're making a feature length film, Kung Fury 2. Michael Fassbender is gonna be. We all know Magneto. Michael Fassbender is gonna be starring in it, and also I've heard that Arnold Schwarzenegger is gonna be in the movie, and he's gonna be playing the president. So if any of you guys just said what the fuck to anything I just said, I suggest you look up the first Kung Fury film. You know what? I might have seen it on. Oof. No, it was on YouTube. Yes, it was on YouTube, guys. So look up Kung Fury in case you want to know what the fuck I'm talking about. But Michael Fassbender is gonna be in Kung Fury 2, feature length. I don't know if that means it's coming to theaters. Um, doesn't sound like something like that would, but I mean, if you have Michael Fassbender, I don't know, it's really confusing. But anyways, look that up. More movie news. I guess I'll go with a few more pieces of movie news, and I'll go to video games, and then we'll talk Black Panther. So, next piece of news, Star Wars Episode 9. J.J. Abrams confirmed that it's gonna start filming this summer. They actually announced that at the D23 Expo in Japan. If you guys know what the D23 Expo is, it's the expo they have, the Disney Expo they have for Disney fan club members. So this one was the one in Japan. We actually did an episode on the one from last year. So yeah, we found out about Star Wars Episode 9. I'm looking forward to that to see if he can clean up the mess that was done in Episode 8. Well, the mess that I think was made in Episode 8. Um, Speaking of Star Wars, I'm just gonna add this and jump ahead a little bit real quick. I actually saw the trailer for Solo, the Han Solo Solo spin-off movie. I saw it playing in front of Black Panther, and okay, so at first with the whole Solo movie, I was like, not really interested. I don't really care about the Kessel Run. I'd rather have it stay some legendary event that no one really knows much about. I don't know if they. Uh, I'm pretty sure they do. They talk about it in any of the novels or any of the comic books, but I saw it, and well, when I first saw the trailer that was released during Super Bowl, when I saw it on YouTube, I was like, "Hey, you know what, this looks pretty cool. You got Lando in there, and then young like young Chewie. Not that he ages much, but and then look at a brand new Millennium Falcon. The thing with this is that okay, let me get his name right this time. Alden Ehrenreich. I'm pretty sure I got his name this time. He, to me, doesn't. Maybe he has the Han Solo mannerism or the Harrison Ford Han Solo mannerisms down. Maybe but seeing this trailer at the IMAX, I don't know if maybe it was the sound or maybe it was maybe it was so clear for me to see that I was paying attention to all the details. He doesn't sound like Harrison Ford Han Solo. Like just something about his voice that to me put it off. So I'm kind of back where I was before, where like I really don't care. I mean, I'll watch it, but I'm not really as excited as I was or as I am for any of the other Star Wars movies. So let's put that out the way. So if you see Black Panther anytime in the next couple of weeks, or if you already saw it, then you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't and you get a chance to see it, let me know what you think of the trailer again. Um, I don't know if any of you were fans, because I know some people, or I know there's a lot of cosplayers that do Kim Possible cosplays. There's a live action Kim Possible movie in development. I remember seeing some episodes when I was younger, but I don't know too much about that show. But that's just a little info for any Kim Possible fans out there. So there is a movie in development. Speaking of movies in development, or in development. DC movie news. I don't know what's going on over there, but Joker, they want to do a Joker movie. Uh, we talked about this some episodes back. It's going to be standalone, so it's a Joker movie that's not. connected to the current DCEU. And right now, it looks like Joaquin Phoenix is in talks. So Joaquin Phoenix, walked the line. Haven't seen that guy do anything in a while. If he's been in anything recent, not really sure what it was. If you guys know, or if you guys think he'd be good for the part or not, or whatever the hell you guys think, let me know. Just the fact that they're making a standalone Joker film is kind of weird to me, because then, to me, maybe I'm wrong, but come on, you'd have to have Batman in there, right? I mean, Joker by himself without anybody else, maybe another Harley Quinn, I don't know, but yeah, Joaquin Phoenix. So, let me guys know what you think about Joaquin Phoenix playing the Joker, if that does happen. I mean, because this is just a report. It's just, that supposedly he's in talks. Probably won't happen, but you never know. Might surprise the hell out of everybody. Let's see what else we got. Let's jump to video games for. No, you know what? Let's stay on movies. This is kind of interesting. If you guys, okay, let's do this. Let's do some hypothetical portal jumping, okay, guys? So pretend have powers to summon portals, because apparently I do. If you guys heard some of the old episodes, um, pretend we're going back to 1998. I don't think the first Spider-Man film that came out, the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man film. So right around that time, let's just imagine an alternate universe where what I'm about to say did happen. So what did happen in our timeline? Uh, Back when Marvel was selling off rights to try to save themselves from another bankruptcy, they had just saved themselves, and they shortly after they sold the rights to Spider-Man to Sony. So let's split the timeline from there and make an alternate one where this happened. So right around the time they're making deals to buy Spider-Man, I'm talking about Sony. Sony going to Marvel to buy the rights. What happened was that at that time in 1998, Sony had the option to buy nearly all the rights to Marvel characters for only 25 million. Um, so imagine a world where Sony had the rights to all the Marvel characters and decided to start churning them out, or let's say they were still churning them out, or maybe they weren't. Maybe they only kept their hands on Spider-Man, and that's all the movies we ever saw. And this is why I say that. So the guy that they sent, and like I said, if you find this interesting and you want to read the article, I will post it on Facebook. So if you want to read it, just go to Facebook at Convo Breaker Geek Podcast. So what happened was they send this guy to go do negotiations, right? So what happens is, I guess they offer Sony the rights to, Fantastic Four. I guess who else was on there? X-Men. I want to say Captain America, Iron Man, so on, whatever, right? So they go and they go, look, guys, we'll give you all these for 25 million, right? So this guy goes, this is the way I saw it. I didn't read. I read just the gist of the article, so I can give you guys uh, kind of a rundown of pretty much what did happen. That's all I read was pretty much the rundown. So the guy goes back. He goes, yeah, you know what? Let me get back to you guys. So he goes back to Sony and he tells his bosses, hey, so they want to give us all these rights to all these characters, Spider-Man 2, for 25 million. And this is what one of the guys tells them. These are quotes. The guy tells the dealer, nobody gives a shit about any other Marvel characters. Go back for Spider-Man only. So the guy goes back, gets the rights for Spider-Man, and boom, that's all. Then that was history was done after that. But that's crazy because this guy is all like, nobody gives a shit about any of the Marvel characters. That is freaking hilarious because, I mean, of course, at the time they were just, I guess, pulling out of bankruptcy. I guess their sales weren't too hot. But uh, 98, I mean, I'm pretty sure Captain America was still a big I mean, I'm pretty sure there was a shit ton of Captain America fans out there who would have loved to have seen a Captain America movie at that time. I'm not saying I wish Sony would have made the movie and bought the rights and, whatever, whatever. Because if that happened, we probably would have only seen a shit ton of Spider-Man reboots. And yeah, actually, yeah, we would probably seen just a shit ton of Spider-Man reboots, a shit ton of Spider-Man spin-offs. And then these guys would have been sitting on, the rights for Iron Man, Captain America, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, all these guys. And we never would have seen any of them. Or maybe Disney, uh, well, no, I don't think so because oh yeah, Disney would have then bought Marvel, but I don't know. That's weird. Let me know what you guys think would have happened because that's kind of tricky because Disney bought Marvel because of how Marvel was doing with the cinematic universe, and they're like, oh, you know what? Let's add this to this, and Marvel ended up selling those properties. So I don't know. It's kind of weird to think that that could have happened. But if you want to read the full article, I'll post it on Facebook. I just thought that was really interesting that Sony could have had all that for 25 million because Disney ended up buying all that Marvel crap for what, billions. I forgot how much it was exactly, but for billions. So that's pretty insane to think that maybe we would be maybe right now we wouldn't have as much, you know, uh, what is it? As much pop culture or as much geek. I don't know. Maybe the geek fandom wouldn't be so mainstream as it is now. Maybe conventions would be a little different. I don't know. It's just kind of hard to think because then we'd only have Spider Man, right? Right? I mean, I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think because that's a really scary alternate universe to think of, where Sony just owns all the Marvel characters, or maybe they would have decided to do movies for all these guys and they would have made them to shit. So yeah, it's scary. Uh, really scary. And I don't want to talk about it anymore. Let's talk about this is a real quick off subject, I guess. But if any of you guys are a fan of Power Rangers like I am, and or if you like Power Rangers and action figures or just action figures or whatever, whatever, then you know that Bandai had the action figure rights, I guess, or merchandise rights. I don't want to say merchandise. I think it was just the uh, the action figure rights or whatever. They Power Rangers has parted ways with Bandai. So Bandai are no longer going to be making figures for Power Rangers. So then everybody's all like on comment sections like, oh, they should get because I've seen some of the Bandai Legacy figures and some of them look kind of, especially the Zeo ones. The Zeo ones look like they could have been a lot better because some of the I think well, I have some of the Tamashi Nations because I think that's a Bandai like sub brand, but like the higher end, if I'm correct, the more on the I want to say more on the collector spectrum, but then again, all of them are because that's who they cater for is the collectors for the most part because of the whole legacy stuff. But Hasbro now has the rights, and everybody was hoping that Hasbro would get the rights because Hasbro, we all know, makes the Marvel Legends lines, a lot of the Marvel stuff, the Transformers, Star Wars stuff. So for Hasbro now to have the ability to make Power Rangers action figures and merch, that's going to be pretty legit. So everybody's pretty hyped about that. I'm pretty happy about that too, even though I don't buy as many action figures as I used to because I'm trying to cut down on that stuff. Um, that stuff kind of gets out of hand, especially when you're like me and you're a completionist and you want to try to complete the collections. It's not fun when something's coming out every week and you're all like shit, or every month and you're like, damn, I gotta. Oh, excuse me, sorry, I had to get a drink of water here. You're like, damn, I gotta complete this collection. So yeah, Power Rangers fans, that's for you. Speaking of collections, last year, pretty sure it was last year. Not last year, it was the year before. I'm pretty sure it was last year. We had the Crash Bandicoot Insane collection come out. So now, it's kind of hard for me to pick. I'm not sure if I like if I like Spyro more than I like Crash Bandicoot. But anyways, a Spyro remastered collection is coming out later this year. for PlayStation. So that's pretty cool. So now we're gonna have Crash Bandicoot and Spyro together with their remastered collections. But from what I remember, I had a lot of fun playing Spyro games. Crash was fun too because I remember I played almost all the Crash games. But I think I have a little bit more love for Spyro. So I'm actually excited for that Spyro remaster. If you are, let me know too. Still with video game news, this is probably the last piece of news. Yeah, this is the last piece of news, and then we'll talk Black Panther. So on April 10th, I talked about this game sometime back. I even saw some of the making of the game. I think it was on YouTube or something. But April 10th, the Rick and Morty virtual reality game is coming out. So that's the VR Rick and Morty game. It's going to be coming out on April 10th again. Like I said, and the collector's edition is actually going to come with a pop and some other stuff. But if you're a pop collector, 'cause I recently saw, I don't know how long this pop's been out, but I'm a big Alien fan, and there's a Rick pop with a face hugger on his face. So I want to add that to my collection so bad, not only because it's a Rick and Morty piece, but more for me because it's an Alien piece. I have a whole bunch of Alien pieces, and that. Though I don't have a whole bunch of Alien pops specifically, I do have the original Xenomorph in my pop collection. Uh, yeah, to get that Rick with the face hugger on, oh yeah, awesome. But anyways, this is gonna come with a pop too. So if you're a Rick and Morty fan or a VR fan or both, the collector's edition. There is a collector's edition that's going to be coming out, and the game comes out April 10th. So I'm gonna try to pick that up. So now let's talk about Black Panther. Black Panther. So, like I said, I saw the movie earlier. I saw it around noon. I got out of the movie theater around about 3 hours ago. Black Panther. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of do a review, spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, I'm gonna spoil the hell out of it. Talk, plot points, post credit scenes, blah blah blah. So if you haven't seen it yet, go watch and then come back and listen to the rest of the episode. Let me know what you thought about Black Panther. Black Panther. So, quick rundown. Basically, what the movie was about. It's the next entry in the MCU universe. Countdown to Infinity War. I think it's gonna be this and then Infinity War because I I know Ant-Man and the Wasp is coming out. Ooh, you guys are gonna hate me because I should have gotten that info before, but I think Ant-Man and the Wasp comes out after Infinity War. But anyways, Black Panther. So before I get into the movie, just really quick, I like to talk about the trailers. I did get a chance to see the Venom trailer and the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer, which isn't any different. They're the ones that we saw around Super Bowl time. Well, Ant-Man and the Wasp was released, and Venom was, I think, sometime after that. But I did get to see those trailers. Those were pretty cool. And then, of course, I talked. What other trailer did I talk? I talked Solo, Jurassic World, blah blah. It was the same thing we've seen. It wasn't anything different. So Black Panther. Okay, let me get into it. So for those of you who haven't seen it, basically what it was about, it was kind of an origin, I guess. It was explaining how the whole Black Panther thing works. What it was about Black Panther, T'Challa, basically fixing or going against an enemy that was created from a mistake that his father had made in the past. So basically, it was kind of like a the past coming back to haunt somebody, but it was kind of one of those things where like a dark secret was hidden in the family, and then it comes back to bite somebody in the ass, and that being T'Challa. So it was kind of another Marvel evil version villain thingy again, kind of like how Iron Man, you have evil Iron Man, Ironmonger, and well, except for Iron Man 3. And then Whiplash, and then kind of the same thing how we had the Hulk, Abomination, then you have Ant-Man and Yellow Jacket. This one you had Golden, what was it? I think it was Golden Jaguar. I think that's what he's supposed to be called. So Black Panther, I think it's Gold Jaguar, but that was Killmonger, played by Michael B. Jordan. So basically, that's basically what the story was. It was about this guy coming back because he felt that he was screwed by, well, he was screwed kind of. Basically, Black Panther's dad killed his dad back in the day, so of course he wants to get revenge, come back and take back what he thinks belongs to him and kind of share it with everybody else who he thinks was screwed because of how Wakanda people uh, treat themselves. They are the sole source of vibranium. So in order to, and they thrive because of vibranium. But in order to uh, to protect themselves and what they have, they kind of stay hidden and they keep vibranium to themselves because they're afraid that if the world got a hold of it or that technology, that it would kind of just make everybody, it'd basically be putting good stuff in the hands of a lot of bad people, and without really taking accountability for, oh, we can monitor it. No, no, no. They just rather have kept it, to themselves and just keep it a secret thing and just, let the world go on about, their stuff. Because there are some, aside from weapons, there are some uh, technology or help techno techno technological advances in medicine because of vibranium. There we go. I'm sorry, I struggled there, but yeah. So there are advances in the medical field because of vibranium, and of course, we all know that if something like that existed, that could be useful around the world and for people that are struggling and all that good stuff. We even seen in the movie where Ross uh, takes a bullet to the spine, and well, he ends up walking again thanks to the help of T'Challa's little sister and her brainiac skills with the vibranium, and she was able to get him walking again, and she ends up healing him. So jumping into spoilers, like I said, if you've seen the movie, one thing that I thought was pretty crazy was that in Civil War, Rhodey, War Machine, he gets a spinal injury and he ends up with, well, he stays with Tony. So, of course, Tony is supposed to be this guy who has all these resources too. So basically, I guess the another Black Panther's another version of Iron Man, but with better tech. Because Iron Man, we see him at the end of Civil War helping Rhodey out with his tech, and then Rhodey's still struggling. Now I was thinking, man, what if Rhodey was on Cap's Team Cap? Then he probably would have been in Wakanda, and he would have been able to walk, and he would have had his spinal injury healed just like that. Because we all know Bucky ended up in Wakanda with Black Panther and all that tech, and they were trying to fix his whole, his brain because of all the brainwashing that the Russians did to him. So let's go on with the Black Panther talking about that. So the cast, I'll go on with the later on with what I thought the rating was overall with all the good stuff. But let me just talk spoilers and talk about whatever the hell I want about the movie that I can remember that I can think of that I want to talk about. So the cast, I thought the cast was pretty cool. So this was a big deal for a lot of people because this was a blockbuster with a mainly African American cast. It pretty much was an all African American cast, aside from Ulysses Claw, played by, ooh, how do I not remember his name? Uh, this guy. Andy Serkis. So, aside from Andy Serkis and The Hobbit, Martin Freeman. So, those were the only two white guys in the film. And other than that, it was all African American cast. I thought the chemistry was good between a lot of these characters or a lot of the actors and their acting. I thought all that was pretty cool. I thought the dialogue was pretty cool. There wasn't anything that I felt off, especially the the relationships that were in between there between T'Challa and his ex. I thought that was very. Uh, I believed it. It was believable. It was kind of like those exes that they split up mutually, and they're like, oh, do we get together or not? It's like kind of whatever, whatever. I thought that was cool, and then also the relationship between T'Challa and his little sister. So I'm gonna go through the cast real quick. Chadwick Boseman, of course, like we all know him from Civil War, played T'Challa, Black Panther, King of Wakanda. We all know he takes over the throne after his dad is killed in the UN meeting in Civil War. So he did it. I thought he did a pretty good job. I thought the costumes were. I thought his costume looked cool, especially in the enhanced costume that he gets, and I'll talk about that later. All the other stuff. So let me see. Michael B. Jordan. So this guy, he plays Njadaka, aka Njadaka is his, I guess, Wakanda name, because that was his, yeah, his name, from his father or whatever. But he takes on an alias, Eric Stevens, I guess to try to stay under the radar and try to get into whatever he wants to do, aka Killmonger. So, like I was saying earlier, his dad is pretty much murdered by T'Challa's dad, Black Panther's dad, in the 90s because he, if I'm correct, took some vibranium and was going to sell it. So he basically, what at Black Panther's dad at the time, the original Black Panther, T'Chaka, felt that he was betraying Wakanda and that he couldn't be trusted. So he ends up killing him. And of course, this stays with Michael B. Jordan's character Killmonger, and which motivates him to try to get not only revenge on Black Panther, T'Challa, but also to get revenge on Wakanda as a whole because he felt that they betrayed his family by wanting to keep everything to themselves and not wanting to share everything with everybody. I kind of understood where he was coming from, but he was doing it in a total wrong way with a lot of bloodshed and stuff like that. Michael B. Jordan also in this movie as Killmonger was mad. Like he was really mad. Like every time we saw him, like this guy had some fucking anger issues. And first thing I could think of was I know why he's mad. He's mad because he was in Fantastic Four and played the Human Torch. And that movie wasn't very good. So I thought he kind of kept a grudge with that on his back, and he's like, "Oh my god, I haven't played a superhero in a while. Last time I played a superhero, everybody hated me because I was in a shitty movie." And yeah, every time I saw him on screen, I thought that's why he was mad. Like I was like, "Nah, it's not because they killed his dad. It's because he was a Human Torch." Um, but yeah. So I mean, I guess he did a good job. He showed a good job. He did a good job of like showing his anger and on why he was angry. It's just kind of the way he carried himself was kind of weird. Like he was supposed to be like military or ex-military and stuff, and he was like very like thuggish, like very gangsterish, and like I know he was trying to be cool, which I thought it was gonna go that route when we first see him in the museum, but then like he turned very like nah dog, like stuff like that. Like he was like you got if you guys see the movie or if you've seen it, then you'll know what I'm talking about. He just carried himself very thuggish. Like I mean, we know he came from the streets, but it kind of looked like his dad didn't raise him that way, especially being in the military and stuff like that. You would think he wouldn't be. So I don't know. I mean, I guess it was okay. It didn't bother me too much. It was just something I noticed. Um, but I mean, I thought Michael B. Jordan did all right. He also gets another version of the Black Panther suit, and it's weird because the version that he's wearing is supposed to be another version of the Black Panther suit, but when he has it on and he's in when they're on the main at the end sequence, the end battle scene, the headpiece looks like a jaguar. I think if I'm correct, that costume or that outfit was supposed to be called like Gold Jaguar or something like that. But it was weird because his T'Challa's sister, Black Panther's sister, made that costume, so I was kind of confused on that. Continuing with the cast real quick, Lupita Nyong'o played Nakia, one of T'Challa's former lovers, and she was his ex basically. I thought she did a good job in this movie too. If you guys aren't familiar with her name, she played Maz Kanata in the recent Star Wars films. We had Denai Gurira, who played Okoye. She is a Wakandan warrior who is part of the all-female special forces who protect T'Challa. So basically, they're the Black Panther bodyguards. If you guys are familiar with her, if you guys are one of those people that are like, oh, I know I've seen her somewhere, but I can't really think of where I've seen her, blah blah blah. Well, she's on The Walking Dead. For those of you guys who couldn't figure that out, she plays Michonne. So let's go on. Martin Freeman came back as Everett Ross from Civil War. I thought he did a good job. There was a part at the end when he's piloting the remote pilot ship and he's getting attacked from the outside and from the well, okay. Let me go back because you guys probably don't know what I'm talking about if you haven't seen the movie. Basically, he's remote piloting a ship, and where he's at is getting attacked. So his physical self is in danger as well as the invisible not invisible, but the remote ship that he's piloting, that one's in trouble too, and he's about to get shot. And I was like, oh my god. He's like, no, instead of abandoning the ship, he's like, no, let me stay because he's almost done getting, taking care of his business, which is shooting down the other ships that are gonna spread some of the uh, Wakandan weaponry to other parts of the country to some war dogs that are waiting on Killmonger's request. So he's trying to shoot those guys down. He has one more down. One ship finds him and is blasting through the through that room. And I'm like, nope, he's gonna die. And actually, I thought he was gonna die, and I was like, oh, he went out pretty cool. Deciding to stay and take out that last ship. So at the end, we see that room blow up, but he made it to the end. He actually got out in time, which I mean, I guess it's cool. But if he would have died there, I thought that would have been a cool hero death. Let's see who else we got in here. Letitia Wright. She played Shuri, so I thought she was pretty cool. She was uh, Black Panther's little sister. She's actually like the head tech specialist, so she's the one that oversees how the vibranium is used and what kind of new tech they can build from it or how they can improve on the tech. So she actually had these later on in the movie. She had these gauntlets that kind of threw these pulses out, kind of like Iron Man's armor, or kind of like Iron Man's reactor that he had in his hand. Um, they're shaped like panthers, and it's crazy because like she's really smart, and her name's Shuri, and a lot of people were all like, "Oh, well, she could take over Iron Man." Like, she's, later on down the line, be the new Iron Man, which was in the comics. Well, I don't think she's Iron Man anymore. I think she had a brief run. They had an African American female uh, take over Iron Man, who was called, well, take over the Iron Man persona, I guess. Tony Stark hands it over to her, and she becomes Ironheart. So she's like the new Iron Man, and her name's Riri Williams, if I remember her name correctly. And it's funny to me because Riri, Shuri, those are kind of they're similar names. Shuri, Riri, whatever, whatever. But I don't know. I thought it would be pretty cool, or I don't know if it was a nod to Riri, but maybe they are gonna take a kind of a spin on Riri and maybe make Shuri an Iron Man like uh, character later on after Robert Downey Jr. is gone, because we all know he's going to be out soon after the Infinity War movies, because those guys ain't going to be around for too long, just like Chris Evans. So I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see who else we got. Just some cool nods in the cast. Forrest Whitaker, Andy Serkis, so he was back as Ulysses Claw. Now this is pretty crazy because in this one he has, of course, his hand gets cut off in Age of Ultron. Ultron cuts it off, so he has this upgraded. Actually, we never find out how. Well, yeah, I guess we do. Somebody snuck it out, but he had this hand that can throw pulses out, and that was made from Wakandan tech. And I thought he was actually gonna have a. Uh, I mean, I guess he did have a battle. It was more like a chase sequence. It was pretty cool, I guess, um, with Black Panther. But he ends up, like I said, spoiler, he ends up dying by the hands of Killmonger. I think he was gonna. Somebody betrayed somebody. I actually got confused in that part because Killmonger was with his girl and with Killmonger, and then something happened where somebody screwed somebody over, and basically. I think his chick was part of it, and Killmonger ends up killing his girlfriend, and ends up killing the Andy Serkis's character, or Ulysses Claw, and he ends up handing him over later on, his body to one of the tribe uh, guys from Wakanda because he was upset that the Black Panther and the Black Panther before him couldn't keep up to his couldn't keep up to their not their word, but to their king um status or whatever of not, I guess, bringing justice because this guy's dad was killed by Ulysses Claw back in the day. So again, revenge, revenge, revenge. Let's see what else we got. So that's all the cast I wanted to talk about. So like I said, I thought the cast was pretty good. Um, Now let me talk about pieces of the movie that I like and didn't like. There were similarities in this story to some of the past Marvel films. Um, One of them was, like I said, you had the villain who was just a bad version of the hero, um, with the same tech, I guess. Um, so it's just a darker spin on that character's powers. Yeah, I'll put it that way. It was a dark spin on the character's powers. But one thing, I don't know if anybody's gonna talk about this. This one had really hardcore similarities to Thor Ragnarok's story, only because the villain comes back trying to take back what they think was theirs and trying to use that for what they think is the good way to use it. In that, in Thor Ragnarok, Hela, of course, the antagonist, um, she's trying to get back at Thor because Odin screwed her over, but held a dark secret under over Asgard or under Asgard, uh, from Thor, that made Hela wanna take it out on Thor. So basically, Odin wasn't really a straight up good guy. He did some bad shit. He tried to hide it. Hela took the hit, and then she came back and went after Thor. So it kind of happened in this movie because T'Chaka, which is T'Challa's father, uh, did something bad, hid it from Wakanda or hid it under Wakanda, any way you want to look at it. So basically, he took it out on he killed Killmonger's father. Killmonger's the one that suffered. He took the hit from what T'Chaka's decision was, because he could have taken, since he was Wakandan, he could have taken him home with him, after he killed his father and maybe tried to make things right, but he didn't. He left him there, ditched him, killed his dad, blah blah blah. So he hides it from T'Challa, and then of course Killmonger comes back, and it comes back to bite T'Challa in the ass based off of what his dad had done in the past. Same thing that happened in Thor. So daddy secrets, villain, revenge from a parent or whatever, from a parent's mistake. So that was a similarity. I don't know if anybody caught that. There was another thing too. This movie, I liked it. The story wasn't super original because I mean I just said that it mirrored Thor Ragnarok in a way that I was able to see. But there was parts of the movie that I was kind of taken out from it because for some reason the CGI in this movie was kind of wonky, I guess. Like, I don't know if anybody saw it, but I was looking at the credits and I was looking at the credits for the people who worked on the companies that worked on the CGI and the effects and stuff like that. And it wasn't any of the studios that I recognized because there was like, well, for one, the fight scenes I thought could have been better. And I don't know if anyone noticed this, but the fight scenes were so close up and blurry that they didn't really have like a super cool effect on me. So I saw it in an IMAX. I of course always sat away from the screen. I bought my tickets 2 weeks in advance, so I had good seats, so I was able to see the screen. Not like some people who sit right in the front, you can't really see shit. Um, the fight scenes were really blurry, and I think maybe they did that because of the effects workers they were working with, or the effects studio they were working with, I should say. It just even on some of the parts where they're panned out, especially that scene where they're fighting in that casino, whatever that casino place or whatever, that uh black market dealing place or whatever. There are certain parts that are zoomed out, but they're CGI. You can tell they're CGI. Um, but a lot of the fight scenes, of course, uh, Black Panther is CGI. But even parts where they weren't, like one of uh, uh, his bodyguards, when they're, because of course they're not in CGI costumes, when they have action scenes too, you could tell like they're CGI, which is really weird because I would have thought like some of those you would have wanted to take advantage of some of the cool fight scenes that Black Panther was able to do, because we could see it just didn't look like that. Well, of course, you're dealing with the Russo brothers, but in Civil War, Black Panther's fight scenes, they you could see them. Of course, a lot of that movie was practical, but there was a whole lot of heavy CGI. Um, but like you could see his scenes, and you could see his fighting style. Here, it was a lot of close-up shit, and it was really blurry, and I think they used that effect to try to hide maybe some of the CGI stuff that they had. Just the CGI in general, aside from the scene, uh, the not the astral plane, but the I forgot what he called it. Um, the ancestral plane. That scene looked pretty cool. But even the Jaguars, even the Panthers there, you could tell. I mean, I thought even the Jungle Book, the animals looked more realistic because we also had armored rhinos in this movie. So yeah, if you haven't seen the movie, there's armored rhinos in this movie. It's just a lot of the CGI. It took me out of the movie. There's even the CGI on the parts where they're having the ritual challenge on top of the waterfall. The background, just, I mean, a lot of it, like you could see what was CGI or done with CGI, and I don't remember a lot of Marvel movies being like that to the point where it takes me out of it. Um, there was a lot of stuff that did look cool though, but for some reason, for some reason, the CGI was just really weak in this movie. I'm not sure why. But yeah, I mean, aside from that, like I said, the story was eh. The acting was legit. I liked the acting. I liked the dialogue. I didn't really have any issues with that. There wasn't it wasn't heavy on jokes. But the jokes that they did have, or the light moments that they did have in it, they were I thought they were pretty cool. It's like, that's pretty, like, it was funny. It wasn't like forced. To me, it wasn't forced. But a lot of it came from Black Panther's little sister, and that was pretty cool. I think probably one of my favorite parts was when they have Ulysses Claw, and they have him in holding, and he's singing that "Don't Hurt Me" song from Night at the Roxbury. I don't know the name of the song, but I'm not gonna sing it either. But if you guys know Night at the Roxbury, then you know that main song, and there's a part where he's singing it, and he's all, kind of roughed up, and I don't know. I just thought that part was funny. And of course, we have a Stan Lee cameo. Uh, he's in the casino part, and basically Jack's, uh, what's his name? Chips. Oh my God, what's his name? Uh, mm, wow. General Ross. Sorry, Ross's Chips. Because Ross was in that underground. Not underground. He was in that weird, shady place, and basically he was supposed to be the buyer for the vibranium that Ulysses Claw was buying, but Black Panther was there because he had his own shit with Ulysses Claw. Um, so yeah, it was just a crazy thing. But yeah, Stanley was there. Not one of his best cameos, but it was a cool cameo. And then let's go to the end credit scenes really quick. End credit scene, the first one wasn't bad. I guess it was kind of like an I am Iron Man moment. Basically, it was the UN again, and he's basically telling the world that Wakanda's not gonna be in hiding anymore. They're gonna come out. And they're gonna help everybody with the tech that they have, with the vibranium tech and all that good stuff. Um, and then the guys all like, well, what do you guys have to offer? Y'all are just a third world country or whatever. And I mean, yeah, we all know they have a lot to offer. So um, Wakanda is basically going to be out of the shadows. Then you go to the last end credit scene, because there's only two. Um, this one has to do with Bucky. So here it looks like Bucky is healed, and they're going to help him further on his recovery from getting all that shit out of his brain, or unbrainwash his brain, or wash it so that it's not dirty from the brainwashing. Anyways, so he's there, and they call him White Wolf. So I'm not too familiar with any of the Black Panther comics. I just know about enough. I know Black Panther facts based off of the video games that I played, especially Ultimate Alliance and from stories here and there. But I've never really dove into Black Panther comics. So they call Bucky White Wolf at the end, and like a name that you like, kind of like how Native American tribes give each other. So basically, in Wakanda, they gave him that nickname, and I had to do some research for those of you guys who want to know. Basically, in the comics, White Wolf was kind of an adopted brother to Black Panther. So his parents were killed, but he was like this white guy that was, I guess, raised in Wakanda. He was adopted by T'Chaka, and he ends up being a mercenary later on. And he never, from what I read, he never became Black Panther, but he assisted uh, Black Panther, and he also assisted the guy who took over from Black Panther when T'Challa wasn't Black Panther. So he kind of assisted the Black Panthers in time, but his code name was White Wolf, and of course, I guess that was his Wakandan name, or his what is it? His yeah, his Wakandan name or his Wakandan nickname. But I thought that was a cool nod to anybody who was a hardcore Black Panther comics fan, because I had no idea what it was. I knew it was some kind of Easter egg, but I don't know how deep it went. Um, so of course he's not a guy whose parents got killed, and he's not an adopted brother to Black Panther, but he is adopted to Wakanda now, or Wakanda has adopted him now. So basically, they're taking care of him. They You can see Bucky back. You can see that he's just with the little time that we see him. You can see that he's not Winter Soldier anymore. He's not that split personality guy that's struggling with trying to be Bucky and Winter Soldier. You can see Bucky's back. So basically, we're just gonna help him with that. Um, and with this, we just gotta wait for Infinity War. If I'm correct, Deadpool comes out. Deadpool 2 comes out before, so I think we're gonna have Deadpool to see before Infinity War comes out. But I'm super excited to see Infinity War. I'm super excited to see Black Panther and everybody back again. We're gonna have Russo brothers back in there, so I know that the action sequences ain't gonna look as weird as these did for some reason. But then again, I don't know if the CGI has anything to do with director. Of course, I don't think it does because it's all Disney Studios. But it's just weird to me how just CGI looked kind of weak in a lot of parts. I'm glad I didn't see it in 3D. I actually don't see IMAX movies in 3D anymore. One, because of my vision, but two, it's not really worth it to me anymore. I rather see it in standard IMAX, which is just as good. It looks like it's in 3D because the picture is so clear. So if you're not interested in seeing movies in 3D, I recommend you see them in IMAX, at least standard IMAX. It's a really good way to watch movies. If you guys have any thoughts on Black Panther, think that I missed out on talking about anything on Black Panther, let me know. If you want to talk more about Black Panther, I wish Killmonger would not have died. So at the end, basically, he gets to see the Wakandan sunset like his father told him about. They have a final battle after, of course, some bullshit. I really don't have to go through the story so much because, like I said, it's kind of a rehash of stuff that we had before, just in a different skin, basically. In different powers. That's basically what it was. So with that said, I give the movie out of 10. I give it about a 7.7. I was gonna give it a strong 8, but I mean, I don't want to say the movie was forgettable. It was a good movie. This isn't a movie I think I'd go back and watch in theaters. It was the same with Ant-Man. One of the movies that I did go back and see in theaters was uh, Civil War and Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one. So to me, those are like high nines, solid nines. This one's a 7.7 to me. So let me know what you guys think. That was my Black Panther episode. I'll see you guys next week. I don't know what I'm going to talk about next week, but I'll figure it out. If you had any thoughts or any comments about anything I said about this episode, especially Black Panther, hit me up on Instagram at MB7.0, at ConvoBreakerGP, uh, on Facebook at Convo Breaker Geek Podcast, or email me convobreaker@gmail.com. We're on iTunes, we're on Spotify, we're on your podcast apps on Android and iOS. So I will see you, or I will talk to you next week. Later.